Hi everyone. I'm going to do an update on my methadone journey since I haven't done it in a while. Got a few things to talk about. Oh my god, it's so bright out here. Too bright. The sun is warm. Um, so I'm still on 5 milligrams. I ended up stopping my taper because it was getting really intense. And, okay, what happened? So, I ended up going to Hawaii, like a last minute thing with my sister. I've never been like anywhere in my life, so right now in my life, I had the money, I had a job for a while, and I don't have any like drug addictions tying me down. So I was like, yeah, I need to go. It's now or never, right? Because like I'm 38, I believe, 39 this year in September, and me and my sister weren't super close growing up. We kind of had like a little bit of a rough upbringing, like most people, but we ended up not being really super close. But now that we're getting older, we are both more mature and less angry and like more understanding of each other, because me and my sister are like super opposites. Like she's a Pisces and I'm a Virgo, so like that's completely not that I super read into that stuff, but it's just kind of like coincidence, even though that's like why I don't think there's any coincidences, because things just make sense a little bit too often. But anyways, so we're opposites. We didn't have a close childhood, and she wanted to go to Hawaii. I had the money. So I ended up taking my daughter and not my sons, and she took her older daughters who are similar age to my daughter, and not her young son. And she took her young daughter to Gigi, who's she's like 9 or 10. So anyways, I got back from Hawaii. It just ended up all lining up that I had plenty of doses through Hawaii. And then when I came back on a Sunday. I have to go pick up on Monday 2 weeks of doses. So it ended up working out. I didn't even have to like set it up. I didn't let them know I was leaving, like nothing. Like I kind of just trusted that it would work out, which isn't super smart, because if I wouldn't have had doses there, that would have sucked. So prior to that, I'm gonna be honest with you guys here, because that's what this is about, and I'm trying to help you. And the only way I can help anyone is by being honest about my experience, and not act like I'm perfect. So I would consider it a relapse. I took one Vicodin like how many weeks ago? Maybe like 2 weeks ago. I so happen to have one, and I had it for a while, and I took it because I don't remember what the reasoning was for it, but like really there's no reasoning ever, in my mind. Like nothing justifies, no matter if I'm in pain or whatever. It's probably I was mentally drained and like needed some energy. But honestly, I took it like right before I went to bed. So it's not like I got high off it or anything, but I probably slept well, like, but still it's considered a relapse. And if my agency knew about that, then I would be in trouble and I would get my take homes taken away. So that happened, and then another thing that happened prior to that was another relapse. So technically it was methadone that I had gotten from somebody. They so happen they didn't take methadone no more. They are on buprenorphine now. So they had these extra methadone that they found, so they gave it to me because they knew I was on methadone. It was only 5 milligrams, but I took it. on one of the days. So on one of my days, I had double doses. I had 10 milligrams. And I super felt it. Like, I did get a little bit high off it, you know, because I'm not used to that much, and I'm super sensitive. My system's pretty clear. So, yeah. So those are the two fuck ups I did. Like, I fucked up. I took extra methadone, and then like a week later, I took a Vicodin. That's not good. I haven't done that in a really long time. So, like, years. So, like, that's a bad sign. And then when I went to recently to the methadone clinic to get talk to the doctor, because you have to have a doctor appointment, and to get my taper back started because I stopped it. I told her, she's like, she always asks the same thing: is your dose holding you? And I'm like, well, no, because I'm coming down. Like, I feel like that's a trick question. Like, if you're tapering, no, your dose isn't holding you. Like, it's not. And it's just literally physiology and science. That's why it's not holding me. Because if you want to get off methadone, you have to go through a little bit of like, you're not going to be comfortable 100% of the time. So it's funny how she says that, because as soon as they ask that, I always say no, because I'm honest. And they're like, oh, well, then you want to go up? Like, they're always, oh, you want to go up? You want to go up? And it's like, no, I'm trying to go down. Been trying to for like 2 years. So, yeah. So she's like, oh, well, if you want to start your taper again today, then you have to take a pee test and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have time for that, because I had to like go get my kids. I had other things I had to do. So she went ahead and said, okay, well, then next time you come in, we'll do the urine analysis and we'll start your taper again. So next time I go in, which is in a couple days, I'm going to go get a urine test, make sure I don't have nothing in my system. And then they're going to go down, and it'll be 4 milligrams. So getting closer, like, oh my God. But another thing she did was she gave me a prescription for Narcan, because I'm like, oh, what for? And she's like, well, when people are getting off of methadone, it is protocol to give you Narcan, because most likely you're going to relapse. So that's kind of a bummer in a way. I understand, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. So now I have like a prescription of Narcan. I haven't got it yet, but like I should probably get it just in case. Like, I guess, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes my mental state's really bad, and who knows? Maybe I would flip and relapse. I am a human being. So yeah, so those are my 2 mess ups, and then I should be going down in 4 days. And what else is new? Okay, so like, yeah, a little story. When I was going to Hawaii, like, so I had worked the night before, and we are supposed to leave at 7 a.m. was our flight in Oakland. So I got off work at like 10 something and got home. I didn't have nothing packed. I didn't have no luggage, and I had to get home, pack. And that was really hard, because like, what do you take to Hawaii, you know? And especially, I'm not someone that's traveled a lot. I went camping a lot. So I pretty much just like went along with, like, that's what I brought. I brought like a hat and water shoes and shit like that. And I ended up having everything I needed. Like, I only had a duffel bag and like one little tiny carry-on that my mom had brought over. I didn't have like a big old luggage. Like, next time I'll probably get a big luggage, but I had everything I needed the whole time, you know? Like, I pretty much just I had to wash clothes one time. But anyways, like, long story short, the whole point of me saying this is because so I packed all my stuff real fast. So I had packed my methadone in my my checked luggage, so I couldn't get into it in the plane. And I didn't think about it. I'm like, okay, your flight leaves at 7 a.m. Like, normally you take your methadone at 7 a.m. So I couldn't do that. And then the flight was 5 hours long. So I was like 5 hours late by the time we got into Hawaii. So I had already, like, I could feel it. I was already going into detox. Like, I was sweaty and hot, colds, and my stomach hurt kind of, and like, wasn't feeling good. But like, I was so excited because like I had never been there, and it was super beautiful. Like, as soon as we even like started flying in, it was like amazing, like really super beautiful. It makes me want to cry because like I've never experienced like a lot of things, and like it was a beautiful place. It really was. And I'm just super thankful that I got to go, because some people don't ever get to do that, you know. So I know some people have been there like 20 times, but like I didn't have my shit together for so long in my life, and I actually like finally earned my way to going, you know. So it felt good. So I was just too happy to give a crap that I was in detox. But as soon as I got my luggage, like as soon as I got it, like I dug through and got my methadone and took it. And when you let yourself go into detox a little bit longer, like especially I'm on such a low dose, there's like nothing in my system. It takes a minute for your methadone to kick back in. So it took like literally like an hour for me to start feeling better after I took it. But as soon after I did, it was like cool. I was fine. But yeah, that's the update. Methadone journey, and yeah, no one's perfect. I messed up, but it was like opportunity, you know, like so happened to give me some methadone, and then I so happen to have this pill. Like that just goes to show you right there, like how much control like I still have. Obviously, I don't always have control. If it's there, you know, like that's why people, places, and things are so big. And I always tell people that people, places, and things, man, like you have to get away from people, places, and things that are tied to your old way of living, to your addiction, and you can't be around it. Like I personally can't. I know some people can, they're a lot stronger than me, but like if someone was smoking some dope right in front of me, like that, it would and they offered, like it would be really hard, like still. And you think like I've gone 2 years and worked hard tapering down, suffered, and I'm like still got this like willpower issue, you know. So yeah, just trying to be honest. Like I know someone out there's probably gonna judge me, like I've gotten negative comments before, but that's if I think of anything else that I could be honest with you guys about, I will. Yeah. So anyways, update. And if you are trying to get off methadone or any kind of opiate, like I just want to let you know, like I really don't feel like we have to take responsibility for our situation that we're in, but like I don't feel like it's our fault. Like I just look at society, and I look at how many people are addicted, and I look at like the doctors and how they just prescribe stuff and don't give a crap about the repercussions of it. And like you as the individual, you have to deal with the repercussions of that chemical in your body, whether it be antidepressants or whatever it be, opiates. Like we have to deal with it. It's not the doctors that have to deal with it. It's not the pharmaceutical companies that have to deal with it. We're the ones that have to deal with it. So yeah, I don't feel like it's completely our fault. Like I feel like a lot of people got duped. Like why is there so many, why at one point, it's not now they're harder to find, but like why at one point were there so many prescription painkillers out there up for grabs that you could just buy? Like as a 15-year-old, I could buy Oxycontin, I could buy Vicodin, I could buy Somas, I could buy all these different things, like no problem, super easy. I had multiple resources, and I had multiple friends at the time that were on it, like literally 50 of us, like all doing heroin and shit, like in the town that I lived in, like more than that. So yeah, anyways, that was the update. But if you're trying to get off, be easy on yourself, people, places, and things. And like I believe you can do it, because if I can do it, like, I know you can do it. And I'm rooting for you. And just make good decisions for yourself. Love yourself. Don't beat yourself up. The negative self-talk is not helpful. I find my brain, like, going back into negative talk, negative talk, negative talk. Like, my whole life, I've said negative things to myself, beat myself up, or I'll be, like, arguing with someone in my head, or there'll be drama in my head because I've been exposed to so much drama. And I have to catch myself because it's almost like a automatic thing that my brain does. And I have to, like, literally, I'll catch myself. And the only way to stop those thoughts, like, one of my things is, like, I'll focus on my breathing, or I'll like, in my head. I can in my head, or you can out loud if you don't want people to hear you. But, like, is the sound of God, of the universe, and it is more powerful than your thoughts. And if you need it, it's like calling on God. It's like you and your thoughts will stop. That's my method anyways. It might not work for you, but, like, that's one of my coping mechanisms. Like, if I really need to get out of my head, like, right in that moment, then I'll just in my head. I'll and it, it clears my thoughts for a second, and then I'll breathe, and then I try to not go back into those thought processes. But yeah, dude, everybody, thank you for watching, listening, and I wish you the best in your journey and all the success in the world of getting off opiates and methadone, or whatever addiction it is that you're trying to get away from, because we're all addicted. It's not just the drug users. There's all kinds of addictions. So I wish you guys the best. Namaste. Bye.